Okay. It is evening here, whatever time of day y'all are going to be watching this. So good evening. And wanted to say, got these bows here, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm going to talk to you. I started and I actually got an interesting request to talk about native fishing. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about some of the fishing techniques used by tribal people in the eastern woodlands here in the next couple videos, I think. Still working on some of the bow building stuff that I was doing, but I don't think there's a whole lot more to be said in that regard that already hasn't been said. But these two bows that I have here are something a little different from what I normally do, which is eastern woodlands, and particularly the 18th century. So it's different in two realms. One, it's more 19th century, and another, it's plains. So this is the one I think I'm most excited about. This is a reproduction of my great-grandfather's bow, Hangu-ah, the first silver horn, and it's really, really cool, really good shooter, and I'll shoot both of these bows for you as well. And this is just an Osage short bow with a hollow belly. And just a self bow, you know. But yeah, so it's a little bit something a little bit different, something I don't get to do very, very much of it at all. And then I've made these couple of arrows today to go along with them. I'll put iron or steel points on the front, but just made these just to kind of test these out and shoot them. But anyway, let's shoot both of these and see what we're doing here. First up, Grandpa's bow. I'm going to be shooting at that target back here. I really got to get used to shooting bows that are so short. This one especially, this one's like nothing. I think standing, it just comes up to my hip, like just at the line where my shorts sit. This thing is tiny and it's lightweight, and it doesn't have a very long draw length at all. And a really lightweight arrow works really good in it. But it's funny because midweight arrows don't do really well for this bow. I found that my heavy arrows, like my hickory arrows, work well, and my short, really lightweight arrows also work well. So I don't know. I feel like anything that you shot out of this bow would have to be either way overspined or way underspined. So it's really kind of a mystery to me. But here's another oddity. I don't get to work with Osage hardly at all. It just, historically, it's not used in the 18th century in the eastern woodlands, or at least in the northeastern woodlands. In the southeast, there are Osage bows being made because they have ready access to those materials, or have really good relationships with people who do have ready access to those materials. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh, this thing's quick. I mean, I can see how somebody would get into this, you know. I mean, like I said, it does not have a very long draw length at all, like maybe 10 or 12 inches, if that. But yeah, I mean, it is really cool, and I've really enjoyed both of these. Let's shoot them one more time. So, Grandpa's bow there pulls maybe 35 pounds, maybe 40 pounds, at about 20 inches or so. So here, I'll put this down. One shot at a time. There's the tiller. pretty stiff tips. Trying to follow um, kind of the look of how these bows were tillered. A lot of the bend is in the middle. Um, I'm used to Eastern Woodlands bows with fairly fine tips, or that are fairly flexible tips, I should say, real kind of lightweight working tips. These ones are kind of stiff, heavy, non-working tips. It's really cool. I missed that entirely. I'm enjoying it because it's new, and there's not much I can say that's new for me in Eastern Woodlands. Yeah, I'm shooting center but high. Um, with this bow, I shoot pretty well. With this bow, I shoot pretty well. I think maybe because it's got such a short draw length and it's lighter weight. Let's see. Take one more shot here. Check this out. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I have enjoyed shooting both of these, but it is really cool to be asked to make a reproduction of my grandpa's bow. Never knew him. He was born, I think, in the 1860s, and he died in the early 1900s, I think in the 20s. And my grandfather is his son, so he's my great-grandfather. Um, but his pictures are really cool, and I don't really know much about the Kiowa side of my family. Being a matriarchal culture, the Shawnee, we trace our bloodlines down through the mother, not through the father. So I was always kind of more involved in my Shawnee community, Seneca, Cayuga, Wyandotte community than I was in Kiowa stuff. But it was some Kiowa relatives and Wichita relatives that taught me to make bows, um, and took me hunting for the first times. And it's really kind of cool to come full circle once I've kind of started in making and selling these bows, and kind of doing it a little bit more professionally. Um, that I'm kind of going back to where it all started with Plains bows down in Oklahoma on the reservation, and yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. It's just some cool thoughts that were running around in my head today, and literally just made those arrows today. Haven't shot those bows, but just since this morning, and just wanted to show you guys how they shot. I don't have my mic or nothing on. This is just kind of something I wanted to do in the moment. But that being said, I hope you enjoyed it. And you know, what's gosh, man, I can't even remember any of the Kiowa language that I've picked up from my grandpa or nothing. But I think this is going to be a good first step for me to try and learn more about the Kiowa side of my family, and what came out of that. I know Silverhorn Hangu-ah. He was the creator of or he's credited with the creation of modern ledger art, and then which became a fairly influential art style. And he was also noted to be one of the most successful treaty writers of his time. Apparently, none of the treaties that he negotiated were broken in his lifetime. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, on my mother's side, um, you know, descendant of Chief Blue Jacket, um, and his legacy, obviously coming out of the Revolution and Dunmore's War, and that kind of business is fairly well known. So, but it's kind of cool, to think about that, especially with everything that's going on now. Um, think about the qualities of leadership that those guys, each one of them in their own communities, kind of displayed, and um, having some claim to that. You know, Chief Tecumseh said that I don't take anything from my father but the life which I was given. But it doesn't say that we can't use their examples. So I think that's kind of neat. But anyway, thanks for watching.